we're 3 practices in, you know, 2 good ones and no pads. A lot of learning, a lot of football being digested. As you know here, that's what we do. Can't say enough good things about Herb and the strength staff. Really gave us a really solid group of guys in terms of cardiovascular and bigger, stronger, faster. So, you know, and I'm just glad to be back with my guys. Been doing this a long time. This might be the, if not the fastest, at least one of the fastest groups I've ever been around. So pretty excited about it. You know, obviously we got a lot of things to work on, but we'll get there. There's no question in my mind.
What do you think this makes? You said this was the fastest group you've seen. What makes them so fast, and what makes them so athletic, you think?
Well, we did a good job recruiting. But it's about energy and the character of the guys when they show up in the building. That is a trait that can't be measured by how many stars the guy has, okay? That's something you evaluate. And we've got a lot of high character guys, and if this is their ceiling, we're getting their ceiling. There's a lot of guys, you know, this may be their ceiling and they're swimming down here in this pond. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I'm just stating a fact, a general fact. And, you know, that's the thing. You know, been doing this a long time. And the one thing, you know, I was just saying this to Coach Madison. I'm watching our guys work and I'm just saying, can you imagine being in this environment and not taking advantage of every opportunity that you have on the football field? I mean, I just can't even imagine it. So, you know, just as a general process, you know, I think we've got a lot of guys taking advantage of their opportunity.
We've seen Devin and Kalik. Can you talk about some of those other guys that are challenging the younger guys at linebacker?
Well, let me just say this, okay? This Devin Bush Jr., special guy now, okay? That's all I'm going to say. There's a private story, but this guy stayed with his team, and he could have easily checked out for 3 or 4 days, and everybody would have understood, and he didn't. So I think we're talking about a guy whose character is completely off the charts. This Kalik Hudson is playing at a tremendous level a year ago. And I think he's a much better cover guy right now. He's playing at a much faster rate. He should go kiss Ben Herbert on the lips because he's helped them tremendously. This Josh Ross is going to be a dude. He's going to be a really good player. Drew Singleton will be a very good player. Noah Furbush, his arrow is so far up from a year ago. I'm just very excited about where he is. So Glasgow, we made the move to Viper behind Kalik, took the slot coverage off his plate, and you know, that's helped him improve. Up front, you know, Rashawn Gary's, you know, Rashawn Gary, you know, he's a good player, tremendous player. Chase is gives you everything he's got every single day. This Kwity Paye came in here, I don't know, probably 235, 236, out of nowhere in Rhode Island, Bishop Hendricken, and he's 263 right now. He's like a muscle from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. So, you know, he's really, you know, really exceeded expectations. Will Marshall's done a very good job. Aubrey Solomon, you know, sky's the limit. You know, the guy that was showing great, taking great steps a year ago during the bowl prep was Dwumfor. He hasn't slowed. I just hope I'm not missing anybody up front because I really feel, very strongly that we'll have 7 or 8 guys there. I'm glad Low Marshall's coming back. Brian Monet's playing really well. I don't know what his weight is, but it's just so much better distributed throughout his body. Very strong, very physical guy. Let's make no mistake about it. When he's in there to do one thing: knock back whoever he's against and play the run. And when it's time to do the other things, we'll figure it out and get somebody else in for him. Secondary-wise, if you ask me, the guys that have made the biggest jump, Ambry Thomas has practiced extremely well for 3 practices. I'm talking jumpers now. We've got Levert and David Long, Brandon Watson. Those 3 guys are veteran guys that are playing pretty good. But this Ambry Thomas now, different level. Confident, fast. He ran through on a sweep play. Again, we were in pajamas the other day. So, it's not a physical thing. It's just like, wow, that was fast. So happy with him. Jalen Kelly-Powell, we've got him at safety. Really smart football player. Is playing so much better. So those would be the 2 guys that I would say, Metellus is, some people were critical of him in the fall. Not me, but some people. But the bottom line for him is he's taken this off season as an opportunity to get better. It's a beautiful thing, Some guys just wallow. He's taken it, and his arrow is completely up, and doing a really good job of directing traffic back there.
Which of the linebackers are working at that will spot to replace McCray?
Well, this Devin Gill, dude now. Probably, if you said to me, who's benefited the most from Ben Herbert? He has. He's faster. He's bigger. He's stronger. And smarts was never an issue. So, and it's hard to say this, but like Mike McCray was so damn smart and had such just a solid instinct about how the game's supposed to be played and its fits, and you could tell him things and week to week and change it for one game plan to another, and he was great. This is that kind of guy, except, I didn't know if athletically, if you would have asked me a year ago, athletically, can this guy make it? I would have been, I don't know yet. He can make it. So it's he, Josh Ross, and Drew Singleton right now. And, we got Jordan and Devin Bush. I'm cross-training one of the guys at Mike and Will. And then, obviously, McGrone will join us in June. So I'm feeling like that six guys there, pretty good dudes. And then you take Uche, who, he's a package guy, but now he's becoming a linebacker, Played in high school with his hand on the ground. Now all of a sudden, he's doing a much better job in coverage and just playing at a much higher level. So he, Furbush, Kalik, Glasgow, and then I'm kind of bouncing around with personnel groups like we do on third down. Obviously the most important down in college football is to get off the field down. So, he's making a big impact, and we expect him to make a big impact on third down. Now the question is, can he help us on first, second down? And I think he's going that way.
How have your 2 early enrollees looked so far?
What's that?
How have your 2 early enrollees looked so far?
Miles Sims had a big play today. Not out of place. I'm talking about, you watch him make a break on the ball today, and I kind of went, damn, he's big, So, he's got a ways to go, but I'm really happy with the mindset, the demeanor, the confidence level. He's not afraid. And here he is in our deal, lining up close to people, and we're expecting him to perform, which, is a big deal. So, really happy with him, tremendously happy. You asked me about Joe Milton?
Well, Taylor Upshaw.
Oh, Taylor. Good, young, fast, athletic, and willing. We need to get him a couple cheeseburgers and some baked beans and some pizza, and he'll be just fine. We gotta put some meat on his bones. But an outstanding athlete, quick twitched, fast learner. So we expect big things from him. The thing that you have to do is you have to kind of keep it in your head. He's supposed to be getting ready for the prom this week, and he's here. So that's a huge advantage. But, my mind tells me don't evaluate a young man who's a mid-year guy for a year. That's basically how I try to look at it, unless he just jumps off the charts and says, I'm going to make you play me. So we'll see, and it's too early. I mean, it's 3 days in, like they're sitting in the meeting room as we're putting in the first install, and if I looked at them, this would be their expression. I mean, literally, all right, we're going to go blah, 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 and, when they give us trips, we check this. When they go to Fort Quicks, we do that. So, it's not an easy proposition for sure. So, but he's a smart guy, Dad's a good guy too, so you can see where he gets it, and from the football piece. So we're excited to have him for sure.
Last year, you didn't return a lot of starting experience.
Mm-hmm.
You've reminded all of us they did play though. They did come in with some experience.
Yep.
This year, you got starting experience and experience. How does that change your expectations of this group?
All I can tell you is every group's a new group. Are they going to put the work in? All 15? They're going to cut corners? Or are they just going to grind? Now, every indication that I can give you is our guys are on this plateau, going this way. We're 3 practices in, and, sometimes you can tell, do you is the room with you, or is the room kind of, is there a lot of distractions and a lot of stuff going on, and we just don't have that. So really happy with where we are, and got a long way to go, obviously. Health, is always important in spring, because it can create some tough matchups for you. But at the same time, you find out if, somebody's going to step up and surprise you, which you're constantly looking for. Because, here's the thing. How would you like to be a young corner, and now you get bumped to the first level, and, you're playing bump coverage for, majority of the practice? It's a heck of a challenge. So, just that piece alone is hard on guys. But, again, I think we're spreading it around. We're playing some coverage. We're doing some things, and really happy with where we're at, without question.
What has it been like for your defense?
What's that?
What has it been like for your defense to go against Shea Patterson so far?
Good. I love Shea. Shea's a interesting guy. He's come in and sat with me, and we've talked a little bit of coverage, and we've talked some football, and just really happy he's here. He's a tremendous young man, great family. Competition's a beautiful thing, and I expect great things from him.
What does that say to you when a quarterback comes in and wants to sit with you to dissect a defense?
He's got a couple rocks loose, 'cause we're not that sophisticated, but I don't know if you're supposed to be. But no, we've got a nice, quiet relationship on the side, and I really enjoy his company.
What does he bring on the field different than Peters and even McCaffrey?
Yeah, I don't really know enough yet, so that would be a tough one. Seems very athletic, very mobile, steps in the pocket really well, but And, that's up, the guy to ask would be Pep and Coach Hobbs, so, they'll tell you all those things. But just as a guy, love the guy.
What kind of steps is Jamarick Woods taking?
Bit vast. I'm surprised I missed him. Rotating with the ones, okay? So, and doing a very good job in the rotation. We expect him to, like I said, even though he played some, you don't evaluate freshmen. If you're evaluating freshmen, you got rocks loose in your head. You got to give them a chance to breathe, put their feet on the ground, get through this install and the college life and the grind of winter workouts and all those things, and see what you got. And I think we're starting to see what we got there. So I'm very pleased.
You mentioned Herbert multiple times. Is it obvious soon after he arrived that he was making a pretty big difference?
Yeah, obviously poking my nose in there and a little bit and getting to know him on a regular basis and just looking at our guys. It doesn't take much, Kalik Hudson, you go, well, he always looks good. He's strong. Well, now he looks like a muscle. That's what he is, Devin Bush's body has changed, some of the guys that you wouldn't think, well, how much better can it get, in terms of physique and those things. Those are two examples of guys that I think, they've maximized their conditioning and their strength improvement under Ben. So, and he's got great staff now too. So it's really good. So
You mentioned, I had two. You mentioned Devin Bush at the start. Can you explain that a little bit more? You said about his absence and people wouldn't know his teammates.
it's just he had a personal mishap and he had the chance to go home and nobody would have said a word about it. And those kinds of things go left. They get left sometimes. When people are evaluating a young man and he's got a strong dad and family, and obviously he made the decision to stay here. And I would have, either way was fine with me. But it's just he's just a different cut of guy. So it impresses me. And sometimes everybody's got an opinion on certain things, when it comes to wins and losses. I get all that. But this is a guy that gives you everything he's got and gives it to his teammates, and I think above and beyond. So, I just felt it was important to mention.
Do you watch basketball? Do you appreciate defensive, when a team like Michigan's playing the kind of defense?
They're doing everything. Mo Wagner, the point guard, is it Simpson? Yeah, Simpson. Boy, he's an impressive guy. And boy, I remember watching him and I'm like, oh, he's a nice player. Well, he's a dude now, And
is he gonna play football this fall too?
Yeah, let's get him out there. I'm sure Coach would love that. So no, I'm enjoying the ride. Like everybody else, it's a great deal. So it's good.